And Shabbat Shalom and greetings to you all. And two dear friends of mine share a birthday. So let's all wish Minerva and Stevie a wonderful happy birthday. Sarah's got a birthday coming this week, and I'm sure she too will have a great time celebrating. Celebration, such a key part of life. In a few days, we're going to celebrate the winter solstice and all that it stands for. Well, just how important was this day? Original calendars had 4 markers only, the 2 solstices and the 2 equinoxes, and everything was measured between them. Now, you've all seen them. Ancient depictions showing a circle with a cross within. The circle was the year and the root of the sun. The cross was the 4 special days, the 2 equinoxes and the 2 solstices. There are 4 special days that come every year. They measure your joy, they measure your fear. They honor the wheels of time spinning round. The stars and planets, the sights and the sounds. 4 special days that mark history. They mark the events we honor, shrouded in mystery. 4 little days that tie the moon to the sun, that remind us we're together, we're connected, we're one. Now, while not mentioned in the Torah, there's many writings in the Talmud dedicated to the honoring of these days. And they were very much a significant event in the spiritual year. Each was called a Tekufah, and the name of the month it initiated. So this one is Tekufah Tevet, the winter solstice when the sun enters Capricorn. Now notice that we're talking about a society with a lunar calendar honoring the 4 solar days, thereby joining them together. Now Tekufah means turn or cycle. And so these dates mark turning points in the progress of the earth. These days have always been celebrated with blessings for the changing season and with Kavanah, prayerful intentions for crossing from one time to another. And each of these days correspond to a different meaning in life. Now, the spring equinox represents life's renewal, which makes perfect sense. The summer solstice honors loss and abundance. The autumn equinox is the link between earth and heaven as we celebrate Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. The winter solstice, which we honor right now, occurring during the darkest time of the year, is about the search for light. And that also makes perfect sense. Now, the blessings said for these days go back to the Babylonian Talmud. There was 2 Talmuds, and this is the Babylonian one. It is the older of the 2. Blessed are you, Lord our God, who guides the world, who makes creation, whose wisdom changes time, turns the seasons. As long as the days of the earth endure, planting and harvest, cold and heat, summer and winter, day and night shall not cease. Blessed are you, divine presence, who blesses the years. So take a moment this week, my friends, and honor the search for light. Now remember, we'll be holding a special ceremony and lighting candles for those you've lost, so keep sending in the names, and we'll help elevate the souls and spirits of those in your hearts and your minds. And just as we celebrate great events and occasions, we also celebrate when we come together and honor our spiritual beliefs. You with yours, me with mine, them with theirs, all accepted in a gathering, a collective consciousness of seekers showing individual faith. Any and all faith, love, any and all love. It is a true chavura, which is a fellowship, expressing our nature of kindness, compassion, thoughts, feelings, hopes, dreams, and wishes that unites us all in this community house of spirit, Beth Ruach, sharing and bringing light, keeping fear at bay. And even though together, we're always individual in our approach, each connected in his or her own special way. So once again, please do go ahead and invite everybody you know. Some physically, the rest digitally, psychically, emotionally, spiritually, to gather and share from Psalm 133, the Hine Matov, come together. Hine Matov. Shevet Achim Gam Gam. Hine Matov. Shevet Achim Gam Gam. How good and how pleasant it is for brothers and sisters together. Community. 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 Together. Let's all spread love, goodwill, and fellowship to the world. Remember, friends, this is just setting aside just a little bit of sacred time in your own sacred space to honor and converse with whoever, whatever you happen to believe in. We all believe in something. It is a part of your kavanah, your intention that you put out to the universe. It is your goodwill. Goodwill and intention are the root of what you can control, of what you can correct. It is your intention that sets in motion everything that occurs in your lives. And it is light, honored more at this time of the year than any other, when darkness is all around, that we send out to help heal those in need of healing, in need of the blessings of God. So let's all take some time now to use that light, that intention, and send some of that goodwill, some renewal and healing out to whoever you know that needs it. Healing and renewal for everybody. Floats through space, finding those in need. So send it out for those you know and for the souls and spirits of everybody you love. Think of whoever that needs healing and renewal and love, or just plain goodwill. Focus on them. Call their names. It's not just for people. It is for our pets. It is for the earth. It is the healing of the world. The tikkun olam. It's part of our spiritual genetic makeup. It's our task to help heal the world. It's not something we're going to complete. It is simply an ongoing commitment that we make to be dealt with in this lifetime. It is for every lifetime. And we must each do our part. Each of us do what you can to improve and change your own little corner of the world, because as you change yourself, we change the conditions of our lives. And part of that healing of the world is when we send thoughts and energy for health and renewal and goodwill for everybody. They don't have to be sick. It's for those in our hearts and our minds. So let's all send energy out for the people in need everywhere. Special thoughts and prayers for Alan tomorrow, for Shayla, for Doria. We'll be lighting a candle for dear Mindy. For Terry and Connie, for Joe and Aurelia, for Snoopy and Agent K, for Kathleen and Dave, for Lori and Anna, for Yosef, for all our sacred animal friends everywhere, for everybody you know in need, and for the whole world, and for the bee. Friends, it is the kindness, the healing wishes, goodwill, and love we all send out. It just circles the world, finding those in need. So thank you, each of you, for all you do, for all you care, because the world's a world of spirit, and spirit, my friends, never dies. Avotenu Makor HaBracha Limotenu. May the source of strength bless the ones before us. Help us find the courage. Make our lives a blessing. The renewal of body. The renewal of spirit. Let us say, Amen. Yishaberach, let us all have our spirits renewed. This is the great prayer for healing, which we call upon God to heal as He is healed before me. Yishaberach, may He who blessed, because all healing is a blessing. Let's all send and receive healing and renewal energy in our efforts to love, to share, to care, to grow. Now we say goodbye to Jacob, Joseph, in the book of beginnings, Genesis, as we say goodbye to fall and get ready to welcome winter. Now usually conclusions leave you wanting more. Great ending gets you ready for the next installment, but the Bible was not written as one long book to be read from start to finish. There was no sequel anticipated to the book of Genesis. So it doesn't end leaving you wanting more. For many, it has a bit of a weak ending. From Jacob's somewhat bizarre blessing, if you can call it that, of his sons, to the death of Joseph, which does end an era and forms a definite conclusion. We are finished with the family that we got to know so well, as this week we read Vayachi, and he lived. Now you remember way back in earlier Genesis, in Chaya Sarah actually, Abraham sent his servant to find a wife for Isaac his son, and I said that entire section's out of order. And that it was on his deathbed that Abraham elicited this promise from his servant. Well, you see that deathbed vow once again here, as we open this parsha with the beginning of the death of Jacob, Genesis 47:28. And Jacob lived in the land of Egypt 17 years. And Jacob's days, the years of his life, were 7 years and 140 years. So he came with 5 years of famine left, and he's been here 17 years. Genesis 47:29. And Israel's days to die drew close, and he called his son Joseph and said to him, if I have found favor in your eyes, place your hand under my thigh. Practice kindness and faithfulness with me. Do not bury me in Egypt. Jacob demands the deathbed promise from Joseph. And he said, I'll do according to your word. And he said, swear to me. And he swore to him. So Jacob made Joseph do the deathbed promise to bury him elsewhere. But before he dies, Jacob wants to bless his children. But first he says to Joseph, Genesis 48:5, and now your two sons who were born to you in the land of Egypt, they're mine. Ephraim and Manasseh will be like Reuben and Shimeon to me. And your offspring that you'll have after them will be yours. Okay, so these two sons of Joseph, Jacob's now claiming as his own as he disowns his own first two sons, Reuben and Shimon. And these boys just happened to be there. Genesis 48:8. And Israel saw Joseph's sons and said, who are these? Joseph said to his father, they're my sons, whom God has given me here. He said, bring them to me and I'll bless them. And Israel's eyes were heavy from old age. He was not able to see. He brought them close to him and he kissed them and embraced them. Now this is a throwback, just like his own father Isaac, who was not able to see. He's no longer able to see. Genesis 48:13. And Joseph took the two of them, Ephraim in his right hand at Israel's left, and Manasseh in his left hand at Israel's right. He brought them over to him. And Israel put out his right hand and placed it on Ephraim's head. He was the younger. And his left hand on Manasseh's head. He crossed his hands because Manasseh was the firstborn. Joseph saw that his father had placed his right hand on Ephraim's head. It was bad in his eyes. And he held up his father's hand to turn it from Ephraim's head onto Manasseh's head. And Joseph said to his father, not like that, my father, because this is the firstborn. Set your right hand on his head. But no. Just as he stole his brother's blessing, Jacob purposely blesses these boys in the reverse. Then he calls his 12 sons in to bless them before he dies, and makes this blessing more of a prophecy for each for their futures. And when you read it, you can see he has nothing nice to say about or predict for any of his sons. Now, is there any biblical character more self-absorbed than Jacob? I think not. He dies. Joseph weeps, orders him embalmed in the Egyptian fashion of royalty. Genesis 52. And Joseph commanded his servants, the physicians, to embalm his father, and the physicians embalmed Israel, and they spent 40 days on him, because that is the number of days they spent on the embalming. And Egypt mourned him 70 days. Joseph is devastated. Would you hold my hand if I saw you in heaven? Would you help me stand if I saw you in heaven? I'll find my way through night and day, 'cause I know I just can't stay here in heaven. Now he is embalmed as royalty, and his body is taken to the cave of the patriarchs for burial. Joseph tells Pharaoh Jacob's desire to be buried in his homeland, and Pharaoh says, go, bury your father as he had you swear. Joseph went up to bury his father and all of Pharaoh's servants, the elders of his house, and the elders of the land of Egypt. Chariots and horsemen went up with him. It was a very heavy camp. They came to the threshing floor of Atad, which is across the Jordan. They had a very big and heavy funeral. And he made a mourning for his father for 7 days. And the Canaanite residents of the land saw the mourning at the threshing floor of Atad and said, this is a heavy mourning to Egypt. This was no small funeral. Everybody noticed that this had to be for someone incredibly important. And it was not due to anything Jacob had actually ever done, but purely due to the fact that his son was ruler. So Jacob's dead. Well, the brothers now panic. Surely Joseph will take vengeance now. Genesis 50:15. Joseph's brothers saw that their father was dead, and they said, if Joseph will despise us, he'll pay us back all the bad that we dealt to him. They commanded to Joseph, saying, your father had commanded before his death, saying, you shall say this to Joseph. Please bear your brother's offense in their sin because they dealt you bad. They tell him that Jacob told them to tell him to forgive them and let them be. They, like their father, were ruled by fear. That was their inheritance, my friend, their legacy, and that is the legacy genetically imprinted in the descendants of the 12 tribes. Fear. And take a look around. Fear still rules people to this day, but it does not have to. We have been given the tools to overcome fear. And Joseph said to them, don't be afraid, because am I in God's place? You thought bad against me, God thought for good, in order to do as it is today, to keep alive a numerous people. And now don't be afraid. I'll provide for you and your infants. And he consoled them, and he spoke on their heart. Now, we don't know if Jacob did in fact tell them what they said he said. I would not be surprised. It would be in his character to believe that Joseph was laying in wait to seek vengeance, just as it would be in their character to believe he would. But that's not Joseph. Joseph has learned the beautiful art of forgiveness. There are people in your life who've come and gone. They let you down. You know they hurt your pride. You better put it all behind, 'cause life goes on. You keep carrying that anger, it'll eat you up inside. I've been trying to get down to the heart of the matter, but my will gets weak and my thoughts seem to scatter. But I think about forgiveness, even you don't love me anymore. Now we have seen that each act of deception since we met Jacob has led to another deception that came as a recompense. Deceptions and hurts within a family, my friends, can go on in a perpetual cycle. In order to bring it to an end, one member of the family who is entitled to retribution must stop the cycle and forgive instead. One must rise above and be the bigger. That is what Joseph does here. Now, this beautiful end of the story of deceptions and retributions completes an intricately embroidered narrative that followed this family from the beginning. And the book ends, and Joseph died. 110 years old, and they embalmed him and set him in a coffin in Egypt. Yes, my friends, the world is sacred. So it's everything in it. Express your gratitude, light a candle, make a wish. Celebrate your life and the lives of those you love. Share your feelings with them. Live free, be free, honor your freedom. Be well, be happy, be blessed. Share and honor the light and all who live in the light and continue to shine. Continue to send everybody you know goodwill and love. Pray for peace and freedom for everyone. And end to terror and hatred. Remember, friends, we're a community. We learn together, we celebrate each other, we love each other. We share this ride together, men and women equally. So let's all send out love, not fear. Send out peace, harmony, goodwill, and healing to all who need it. And please do learn to forgive and learn to love. Open your hearts. Honor the relationships of your life. Tell those you love that you love them. Take advantage of the time you have and enjoy the journey, because we take the twists and turns, the patterns that weave through the fabric of our lives in our efforts to grow, to learn, to be, to love. So please do love. God bless you all. Have a fantastic week, a week of love and light, a week of peace, a week of miracles. Examine your intentions and use them to imprint your will on the universe. Remember, we set in motion all that happens in our lives. It is our intention, our Kavanaugh, our cause, our effect, because everything is linked. Now, as I said, you always have time to forgive and to be forgiven. You have the knowledge of what's good and bad. So acknowledge what you've done wrong to yourself, to God, and to any person you've wronged. Ask forgiveness. But do so with sincerity, accountability, and vulnerability. Forgive those who've hurt you as you learn to be forgiving and compassionate, because the secret of forgiveness, compassion, and peace is in acceptance. Can you accept yourself, other people in the world just as they are? Can you accept life as it is without trying to control it? If you do, you can experience the peace that acceptance brings. So do not stop your journey. Do not stop moving towards your promised land. It is your home. Keep on dreaming, keep on being, keep sharing, keep shining, keep teaching. Keep spreading joy and goodwill. Do not follow fear. Follow love. It's always in front of you. And remember to have faith, an unwavering adherence to principle, just as I have faith in the principle of love and of all of you. Act with purity of heart and mind. Despise none, defraud none, hate none. Cherish all. Honor every child of God, every creature of the earth. May all people know peace in this year. May you nurture kindness and love everywhere you go. Work to be present in the body. Expand the heart, quiet the mind, because the deepest source of real power lies in compassion and consciousness and your ability to be mindful, to be aware, to be present in all of life's circumstances. So make the most of your time in life. Continue to touch and transform the lives around you, because you're never alone. You're forever blessed, and you have the ability to bring blessings to everybody you meet, health, love, and renewal to everybody you come across. We're all energy, and energy cannot be destroyed. It can only be transformed. Your words are your power to transform, to love, to bless. So be generous. Bless others and bless yourself. Love with the heart, because we're all part of a greater whole. Embrace love, not fear. Forgiveness, not anger. And be there for someone, because someone will always be there for you, whether you know it or not. And continue to explore faith and belief, and never accept shame as a natural state. Whatever you feel others have felt, whatever you've experienced, others have too. We share together. We learn together, and we help each other, because we are each of us trying to find love and acceptance and support, because we all have or could have that special someone in our lives. So find them, tell them what they mean, and remember, you're never alone on your journey to your promised land. Keep forgiving those you need to forgive. Keep asking forgiveness from those you need to ask forgiveness of. Next week, when Exodus begins, man is sunk to the bottom of the pit and begins to climb back to the perfection. And you will see, we are not in Kansas anymore. Somewhere over the rainbow, way up high, there's a man that I heard once in a lullaby. Yes, my friends, enjoy the change of season. Send the names for candles. Remember, vulnerability is your strength, not weakness. Thank you for joining me. Have a great week. Keep sharing the light. Keep exercising forgiveness. Be thankful, be gracious, be kind, be loving. Believe in yourself. Believe in love. Have a little faith. Continue to spread goodwill to the world. And continue to note miracles in life. And never forget, you are the miracle in somebody else's life, and you will continue to be. Shabbat shalom and blessings to you all. Take care. We'll see you soon.